Hey guys. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm live. All right, I'm gonna jump right into it because it's 4 o'clock my time. Okay, so the coronavirus is stressing everybody out. I know. I think every client I've talked to this week is feeling pretty anxious about it, and that is totally understandable. Um, there's a lot of uncertainty, and the situation changes every day. None of us have any idea what is going to happen. So what I want to talk about today is I have some strategies that I think can help you feel a little bit better. Because if there's one thing I know for sure, it's that feeling high anxiety and hysteria is not going to help us. It's not going to help us in any way. It won't stop the spread of the virus, and it won't make us feel better. So let's dive in. So you might be wondering, why am I the person to talk about this? Well, I used to have pretty high anxiety myself, and it just over the years figured out some solutions that actually worked, because as you guys probably know, a lot of things don't work that well. It's kind of a trial and error, and I also am about to be certified, like a year-long course. I've been taking a life coaching course where I learned a lot of really good tools and methods. So I've summed it up into 3 to keep it short today because you guys are busy, or maybe you're not because you're at home. So let's start. I have notes. Okay, so number 1, my first question for you is, are you breathing right now? And you probably thought, why is she asking this? Of course I'm breathing. But anybody who's done yoga or any kind of meditation knows that the breath is the first place you have to start, because if you are anxious, you're probably breathing really shallowly or holding your breath. And that's directly connected to your like fight or flight, adrenaline levels, cortisol, stress levels, anxiety. So if you can control your breath, you can feel a lot better really quickly. That's actually the quickest way, I think, to feeling like 1% better. So I'll give you an example. You don't have to do like a full-on 30-minute meditation Zen session. You can actually, like 3 breaths even makes a huge difference. So the key is to inhale in your nose. So hold it for a few seconds, and then a long exhale through your mouth. So even honestly just 1 breath, you can start to feel the difference. Heart rate slows down, anxiety reduces. So with every client, life coaching or nutrition, we do a lot of breathing work, and I highly recommend meditation. So that's kind of part 2 of this tip. Number 1 is meditation. It's not, people throw it around a lot in 2020, but it is so powerful. And you don't have to be good at it. People often think they're not good at it because they can't keep their mind still, and it's totally okay. Nobody's good at it. Our minds just are that way. So what I highly recommend is choosing an app that you like with guided meditations. You can follow along with the voice. It gives you something to pay attention to. My favorite is Headspace, big Headspace fan. And right now, if you download the app or go to their website, you'll see they have a special coronavirus section, free meditations that you don't have to sign up for a membership. Usually you have to pay. I pay for like an annual membership, but for these coronavirus ones, it's free. So check it out. I think you'll like it. They're like 3 to 5 minutes. They're not long. If you really don't like sitting still, there's even ones you can do while you're walking, while you're outside. So yeah, breathing, meditation. Those are the 2 parts of my first tip. Okay, number 2. Okay, you know how when you feel an emotion that you don't like, your inclination is to fight against it. Like when you feel fear, when you feel anxiety, when you feel anger, a lot of people want to repress that and push it down, try to get rid of it, try to cover it up in some way. That's where we get stress snacking. When you saw a news report, you saw the president speaking, and it really got you nervous and stressed out. So you found yourself wandering to the kitchen, and you're like subconsciously seeking comfort. So you reach for the chips or the cookies. And there's nothing, you shouldn't beat yourself up about that. It's normal to seek comfort when you're stressed. But so my number 2 tip is, rather than trying to repress what you feel what you feel. Feel what you feel. So It's counterintuitive, but rather than pressing away from an emotion, I want you to let it fill you up. Give it permission to be there. So if you're feeling anxiety, let it get as big as it needs to get. Give it permission, allow it, and you'll actually find that I got a little you'll actually find that the emotion dissipates. It gets better for you quicker if you allow it to be there. So in my life coaching course, we learn to visualize the emotion. So let's say it's anxiety, to visualize it filling up your whole body, filling up a whole room, filling up your whole city. And by giving it that permission, that freedom to be there, it's like a wave in the ocean. It will go away on its own. Now it's going to come back again, just like waves in the ocean. Like emotions, as you guys know, anybody who's grieved a loss, emotions come in waves. So you'll have a wave of anxiety, and then you'll give it permission and let it pass. Another wave is going to come up and it'll pass. So you just have to keep doing that over and over, and kind of comforting yourself the way you comfort a child or an animal, pet. So and along those same lines, talking about grieving a loss, I want you guys to start thinking about the fact that this spring and summer, or the opposite seasons if you're on the other hemisphere, are not going to be exactly as you thought it would be. Like if you had some fun trips or plans, those might change. And it's normal to, this sounds weird to think about, but I want you to grieve those losses. So you're probably going to go through the actual stages of grief. Like, let's say, like I had a trip to Disneyland planned for next month, and I don't think that's going to happen. So, you'll go through denial, like, this is no big deal, this coronavirus, and then anger, like, I'm not going to cancel this trip, like, forget that. And then bargaining and depression, acceptance, the whole thing. So if you had really things you were excited about this spring and summer, it's okay to feel upset about how things have changed. So grieve those losses. Okay, so that was tip number 2, is to feel what you feel, give yourself permission. And then the last one is give yourself and others comfort. So this sounds kind of weird, but you can either be in fear or you can be in a place of love. You cannot be in both at the same time. So if you're in a place of fear about the coronavirus, but then you're able to find a way to switch into a state of love and compassion, you can't be in the fear. So if you're stuck at home with your children or a partner, give them a hug. It sounds so cheesy and simple, but all of us could really use that right now. And even a virtual hug, like I send my clients virtual hugs all the time, and I think it really works. It's just as powerful. And by giving others comfort, you are going to comfort yourself as well. You will feel a little bit better. So try it. Go give your pet, your cat, your dog, husband, children, some comfort. If like my little sister's in New York City right now, just quarantined away, and I've been trying to comfort her, and it makes me feel better too. So yeah, and I really think, as I sound like such a hippie, but I think that's a huge part of how we're gonna get through this whole thing, is compassion with each other and with ourselves. So that's it. So my 3 tips are breathe, watch your breathing, meditate. Number 2, feel what you feel, allow it to be there. And number 3, give yourself and give others comfort and love, because love and fear cannot exist in the same moment. So I wish you guys all the best. And last thing about the news. I notice a lot of people, it's easy to get addicted and obsessed with the news. And so I just want you to think about the following. You know how when you're in a conversation with somebody and you're really excited to hear what they're saying, you're at dinner with them or something, you find yourself leaning toward them. There's that physical movement towards somebody. That means you're genuinely interested. You want to hear more about it. And I think, at least for me, with the start of the news coming out over the last week, that was where I was like genuinely interested, not fearful. But when you reach a point, and each of you will know when this is, where it's gone past the point of interest and curiosity, and it's moved into like panic and fear and overwhelm, that's when it's time to turn off the news. You don't have to be on Twitter all day long. You don't have to watch every news report. The TV doesn't have to be on all day. Don't do that to yourself, okay? All right. I love you guys. I love Team WAG. I wish you all the best. Talk to you soon.